Welcome to a new video. It's been quite a long time. I haven't really known what to do with this channel, but I've recently become interested again in working on this game I started a long time ago. I'm going to show you real quick. This isn't, it was so long ago, I can't remember which of these was the most. This one doesn't quite work. I'm going to run it just so you can see what it looked like. You can see the drawing of these guys isn't, they're actually over here. I don't know what these are doing actually, but you can see what the game is kind of supposed to look like with graphics because what happened was I had a lot of issues with collision detection. And to be clear, the game was working a lot better than this. Oh, here comes the attacking. They're not moving, but they attack too. Um, but to be clear, like, it was working a lot better than this, but there were some serious issues with the way I was handling collisions and stuff like that. And the other thing that happened was the art was slowing me down a lot. I did almost all of this art on my own. My brother did this one. I did everything else. And he was working on some other stuff. But like basically what happened was every time I wanted to add something, I had to do a bunch of pixel art and animate it. And it took forever. So this is what I had. And, the other thing that happened was I had a lot of like things that I don't think I really needed. And I was getting kind of tunnel visioned on things that weren't really the main gameplay loop. So this was like maybe a year ago that I last worked on this, and I'm throwing this out. I mean, I'm not going to literally delete it, but it's going away. And I've been working on what I call the name of this game tentatively is One Dwarfman. Um, and I'm trying to do an ASCII version of it. And obviously I like I like doing the art and I like animating and I'm gonna add that stuff in. But what I want to do is get the game actually working with no graphics. And this has taken me 3 days. I've started from scratch. You can see that I have trees now. This is ore. This is the knight over here. And these are the same enemies. He's taunting them and attacking them. And I've also added mining, so I can mine the ore. I can chop the trees. And the thing I'm working on right now is buildings. So I've added the forge, which you saw those forges in the graphic version. And now I can deposit the ore into the forge and it will convert it. Well, it will eventually convert it into ingots, but right now all it can do is accept the ingot. You can see I had ore in my inventory, and this is my inventory up here. This is my inventory, so I get 10 ore in here, and then I can deposit it into the forge. And that's all I've got. Um, so yeah, these enemies, they spawn, they attack wall segments. Um, I'll try to explain the design. The I'm going to do some coding in this video, and that's kind of what I want to start doing here is just occasionally make a video showing me in real time doing some coding and making some progress. I'm not going to always record when I code, but then maybe every time a video comes up, you'll see that I'm further along, and it could be interesting, I guess. Um, the way the YouTube is now, it's like it's so alien compared to what it used to be, and it's all about algorithms and making your video like the perfect 12-minute video where you talk really fast, and I'm not into that. So these are going to be intentionally chill videos you can put on a second screen or listen to in the background and look over when I might be doing something interesting. But I'm really not trying to cater to the algorithm, and I know that the subscribers I do have are into gaming, and I've done tutorials and stuff. So I'm it's probably not going to appeal to most, but to those it does, it's for you. Okay, so let me talk about what I'm in the middle of doing right now. Actually, like let's talk about the game, the whole point of this game. So what I want this game to be is one of my favorite games that I don't think I've ever talked about on this channel, but one of my favorite games is Factorio. And I do not want to we're putting ore into a forge. It's not going to be as bad as Factorio. Like we're not going for that level of complexity. Um, what I want to have happen though is like on this side of the wall is going to be the base. On this side of the wall is the tower defense element. I mean, it's not really tower defense. Rather than towers, you have heroes. And this is still up for decision, but like I'm thinking maybe a max of three heroes you can have at a time, but you start with one. And you're going to get more by like putting money into an inn, and it's kind of like a bid for a new hero, and then you can accept they can they can say, oh, I'll work for you, and you can accept or decline. But you can kind of get the feel like what I want is a lot of resource management. I really like that in gaming. And I want it like you manage the resources, you spend the resources to equip your heroes, and the heroes all fight on their own. That you don't control them. You only control one Dwarfman. That's the game. So you're going around building stuff, and at first you'll carry things around, like you'll make a new weapon and you'll carry it to the hero and give it to them. Um, but later you'll be able to build like golems or automata. I don't know what I'm going to call them. And then you'll be able to have those automata take on certain jobs, like the menial tasks, and do things like that. Go around and mine and gather. There will be like a building that's like a supply depot kind of thing where you can dump your resources, and then um, you know there will one of the first tier buildings is going to be like a potion bench, and you have to go onto the bench and swim your thing and make potions. um, and then you can give potions, the heroes can take potions and use them. But the whole idea is that like design wise, as a, the thing I'm working on right now is there's going to be multiple waves. Like you saw right now we just have, it's like hard coded, there's one wave that spawns when the game starts, and that's it. um but I think what we're going to have is like the wave will spawn in the middle, the night will be in the middle. um and each, I don't know the right word for it, like level, it's not really a level, but there will be multiple waves per level. Maybe we'll call it day night. I'm thinking of having like a day night cycle type thing where like at night you can go into your base and build, your heroes take a break, that kind of thing. So like on the first day there might be three waves, and like each after each wave you'll also have a chance, because a lot of the game is going to be like, okay, do I want to spend my actions out here mining, or do I want to be out here built over here building, or what do I want to do? Like what is it you're going to do with your limited actions and your limited resources? So um, the waves will the idea, what I'm trying to get as my first like balancing task, if I do nothing, if I just sit here in my base and don't mine, don't build anything, and I let the hero keep fighting, how long until he dies? How long until the wall gets broken and the game ends if I do nothing? And my my gut sense is kind of like the first day, if you do nothing whatsoever, um, the wall will take a lot of damage, but it won't break, and the hero won't die. But then going into the second day, if you do nothing, early on in the second day, the walls should break down. They should leak in and start destroying anything well, you don't have anything because you did nothing, but they would leak in and just start attacking you and kill you. And you would lose the game. So the question is like, that's my task right now, is to figure out how do I make it so that on day one, I can mine enough resources and build something that will immediately impact the how well my hero does, for example. And then that going into day two, that I'm not, the wall is not collapsing on day two, and instead, um, the hero is getting stronger, there's going to be a building that lets the Dwarfman have like mines and crowd control abilities. So that will be part of what, part of the thing you can use your attention on is going around, you could go around and like push a wave back or put a mine somewhere and then you get some AoE extra damage in there. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the premise, and that's what I'm working up toward. I have I'm not going to tell you all my ideas out right now because it would nothing would happen, but I'm going to start coding. So right now I was in the middle of this. Like the last time I was working on it, I ran out of time and I had to stop in the middle. But the problem right now is right. So if I hold spacebar down, and I'll talk about like stuff such that if you don't know how to code, you can still understand. I'm holding down spacebar, so we obviously have like a cooldown on the swing. If there were no cooldown, the ore would be going up way, way, way faster than this, right? Now, the problem is I do not yet have a cooldown on the dump ore function. So you'll see when I go up here and hold down this, and by the way, this is based on distance. So if I hold spacebar now, I was actually too, it actually dumps all my ore right away. So that might be another bug. Let me check something. Because that shouldn't have dumped from so far away. It's contextual right now. Like if I press this, it's checking the closest resource. So there's like logs, right? I'm out of range here, so nothing. I'm just in range here. And obviously, like the range should be a bit shorter than this. I think we'll make that shorter. But now, if I press the spacebar here, he swings, but nothing's happening. You can see the ore isn't changing. He's not harvesting. I'm going to hold spacebar down, and if we watch, actually, let me get a little bit more ore to show you the problem. Like you can see how fast the ore goes up. Now I'm just going to hold spacebar as I walk, and let's see when the ore dumps. It dumped right here. That's way too close. So I think there's a bug here. It's saying if there's a building closer than any resource, it will dump the ore, but it's not checking my range and it's allowing me to dump. And you also saw that it dumped all the ore immediately, which is not what I want. I actually want it to take, I want him to have to swing every time he wants to dump ore, and it only dumps. Um, how much should it dump? Maybe we'll make it 5 for now, but actually, uh, yeah, you need actually 10 ore to get 1 ingot. That's what I want it to be. So I think 5 is fine. You have to swing twice to fill the forge, and the forge can only hold enough to make 1 ingot at a time until you upgrade it. So let's see. We have a few problems to fix. Um, so the function for the Dwarfman code has this in it for the contextual. We have get closest resource, get closest building. So we're specifically, let's first fix this range issue. So here is the code. If the closest building, this is basically saying which is closer, a building or a resource. Um, where did I put? Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is like the thing. So if a resource is closer, this happens. If a building is closer, this happens. So we check the swing timer for the cooldown, but something isn't set right there still because that wasn't working either. If the closest building is a forge, we can take these prints out. I was debugging with those. Then this happens. Okay, so yeah, there was actually no check at all on the range. So what we need to say is if closest building dot building type equals forge and self dot, I think we have gather range, yeah, and self dot gather range is us. Hold on, what's closest building dot distance is less than self dot gather range. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I fix that now. Actually, before I even do that, let's change the gather range. It's too long. It's too big. 75 is insane. Let's do 45. Now, one thing to keep in, one thing I'm trying to do here with this ASCII graphics is I want this, like it looks, these are small, these are big. I want the size to generally be about what the sprites are going to be, but it's not going to be perfect. Okay, now the gathering doesn't work at all. Oh, it does. So what's happening here is when it's looking at the locations of things, the location of this is probably like it's like near the top left, and this is the top left too. So when I'm here, this is actually too far. So that's why it's not happening. But then if I go here, it does work. That's not really what I want. Um, what could I do to fix that? And how concerned am I with that right now? I think I'm not particularly concerned with it right now. I think I need to do some kind of offset. Let me think about this. Um, Probably what I would actually want to do is some kind of orientation check. If I'm facing in this direction or this direction, it actually changes the offset. I don't want to mess with that right now. So actually what I will do, I think that's why I had the gathering. Let's just like call it, make it 65 so that it is a little less janky looking when we're facing right. But this is one of these things, like, especially because I don't have the sprites in yet, like I'm gonna have to fine tune that anyway. So let's just do this. Okay. So now we're gonna check the gather. If I can dump the ore from too far away, I cannot. You can see it's not allowing me to dump the ore. But when I get in range, it dumps. Okay. And that 25 at the top is a debug. That's the inventory, the ore inventory of the forge. So we know that it transferred into the forge. Um, okay. So that now we want to fix the thing where it dumps too fast, which is going to require some additional timer checks. Um, let's see. So if self.swing timer is 0, then this happens. But we never actually set the swing timer higher after this happens. So here, I think we're just going to say self.swing timer equals self.gather number counter. What did I put that on? I keep confusing the word counter and timer. I really need to fix, like, it's one of those things. I don't want to do it now, but like it will confuse me as the code gets bigger. What gather number? What did I, dude? I just forgot what it was. Um, self.gather number counter. Timer equals counter. I don't think it's number counter. I don't think that's what the right. Yeah, that's a 0. It's swing cooldown is what I'm looking for, actually. Okay. Yeah, swing timer is self.swing cooldown. That makes more sense. Equals self.swing cooldown. So what this is actually saying is set the timer to whatever self.swing cooldown is, which is 100. And with that in place, this function, none of this will happen unless the swing timer is 0. And in my update function, we decrease the swing timer um, by, no, I have a function for update timers. Yeah, the swing timer goes down by 1 every frame. Now, I just also noticed another issue here with this is mining. Where do we set self.is mining to true? Only when we're near a resource. So that shouldn't get in the way, but I have to be a little bit careful. What's happening here is I'm using the space bar to do multiple things based on what is near me. And, so like I did the mining first, and now I added the resource interaction or the dumping the resource, and so I have to be careful that there's not like a some kind of overlap that I overlook where I set like is mining to true and it shouldn't be. Okay, so I'm going to grab like 30 ore and see if I dump it slowly now rather than all at once. Yeah, see that in the top left. Okay, so we fixed that. Um, I need to add the animation though for the dumping. I want him to do the animation as well. And I think where did I do the animation like the mining? I believe I have mine animation here. Um, this is all animation with no logic, right? I'm just seeing if I can rename this to like swing animation. Swing timer is greater than 60. Yeah, okay. I'll rename this to swing animation. Whoops. We'll do a control F. It's only called twice anyway. Okay, we'll rename swing animation. And then oh, see here, yeah, this isn't good. Yeah, like here's what I meant. Like now this is, tied to the mining, which is not what we want really. Um, Let me check out. We might just want to have it be is swinging. If self.is mining is true, then self.mine. So what is yeah, but so this is the actual logic which does the mining. So I need to not do that. I'm trying to think of the cleanest way to do it. Like, okay, so he does that. We could just add another if, because the reason we need to do it this way, by the way, is like this is a game loop, and this is like the main loop here, where everything happens every frame. Like everything in the code is happening every frame, and in the, in this case, um, swing animation is a function that is running every frame, and we need to make sure it runs every frame whenever we're doing a specific thing. But like, so we can't just call it once. We have to like have a flag which tells us that it should run yes or no. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this. Self is dumping. Do I really want to call it dumping? I guess so. Um, I guess I don't need to, I can just do or here. And now we have to add this is dumping into our Dwarfman object. And we go back to where this is all happening. Then we can say, before this loop even starts, we can say self dot um, is dumping equals true or equals true. And that will set it to is true. And now we can say, I think what like a clean thing I can do here is just say where I set the mining to false here. If self.swing timer equals 0, then self dot mining is false. And I can also just say self dot is dumping is false. I think that will work okay because basically when that animation is done, he's not doing any of those things anymore, and we can reset it that way. I'll just do a quick check and see if that's so now. So another thing I'm noticing is he won't even swing if he's not close to something. Um, and here he's not swinging, I think because he doesn't have any ore. Because I did make a check if your ore is greater than zero. So I don't think he can even attempt to swing without it. Okay. Why? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, not close enough. Okay. All right, we got 30 ore. Let's see if the swing happens now. Yeah, we're good. So now it's doing the thing as we want it to. Okay. But actually, what I do want to, I think I want him to swing regardless of whether you're near something. I don't think it really makes sense for him to just not swing when you press the button. So we can go into here because basically these only happen if the distance check is successful. Otherwise, like um, it doesn't make him animate. And this animating logic here, where we say swing animation, we only do swing animation if these either of these are true. Um, so actually, much more clean, we could say if self dot swing timer does not equal zero. I think. Let's check it. No. And that doesn't work because without the distance check passing, the swing timer doesn't go. Um, so what I think I can do is say else if, instead of end, I'll just say else if, um, oh, no, I can just say else self dot swing timer equals self dot swing cooldown. Because um, I think that works. Okay. And then I did want to actually change what I just had here. This is going to just check if self dot swing timer. I think I can just say if self dot swing timer because that just means if it's not zero. No? Mm, doesn't work either. Let me see something. Else self. I'll do a print here. Okay. So the print will show up in here. It doesn't. And that means that this loop didn't hit. This else didn't go. Oh, I know why. Yeah, okay, I know why. It's because the distance, basically, the else would only ever get hit if there was if there were no resources at all, which isn't the case. Um, okay, so let's not do that way. This can just be an end. We don't. I'm getting confused with my ends. This is indented? No. What is this end here? Did we just not need that? I think. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. So the distance check is here. So kind of the problem is this distance check is jumbled in with everything else, like with this thing. Um, Let me think of the best way to do this. This loop here, if something, something dumping. I'm almost tempted to say when you press the space bar, maybe you just no, it shouldn't set it there. It can be really tricky to work with timers like this sometimes because like if I said here, like right when you press space, we set the timer to 100. Then if I hold the space bar down, it's just going to keep resetting to 100. It's gonna, and that's not what we want. So, um, let's see. This is maybe not the most elegant way to do it, but I'm going to say else if um, I do this closest resource dot distance is greater than self dot gather range or closest building dot distance is less than or is greater than self dot gather range. Then self dot swing timer equals 100 end. No, it shouldn't be an or. It needs to be and. If everything is out of the gather range, then you set this. You just do this. Now the problem here is going to be that again, holding down space will simply do this because it's going to miss. Like if I'm out of range and I hold down space, it's going to set it to 100. And if it's just stuck at 100, okay, then we have to say we'll put another if in here. I think if self dot swing timer um, equals 0. Okay, I don't know. We'll see if it works. It doesn't work. Why not? Make sure everything else. Okay, so yeah, once I get in range of something, it lets me swing. Well, I shouldn't actually. I'm actually a little bit confused because I'm not in range here. But you can clearly see like I'm out of range. If I'm just far away, it doesn't swing at all. But then I get to this like, and actually this won't swing because I don't have ore, I guess. So if I'm closer to the building, it won't swing, and if I'm closer to the resources, it will. Um, so if closest resource dot distance, this is what's happening. Okay. Else if the closest building dot distance is less than the closest resource, then we do this. Oh, I think I see what's happening here. Because this is still being met. This condition is still being met. This is never getting reached. Because once we're closer to a building, then we never get to here anyway. Um, I'm gonna remove this all again. I didn't like that either. Okay, so I think we just have to really check the distance thing here. Um, I'm trying to figure out why it does this first. If okay, because I guess the thing is the only check here is about distance, but then here, um, I guess I can just say I can put it in here maybe. Self dot swing timer equals 100 equals 100. Or no, not 100 equals self dot swing cooldown. And then here I can delete that one. Let's see if that works. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we can always swing. The ores, and I have the ore generate randomly. The ores in the trees generates randomly. So like you can see here, it's further away. All right, got 30 ore. Make sure everything just works here before because we changed some stuff around. Okay, everything's still working. Cool. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want each piece of ore has 50 HP. So I want to add a cleanup function for the ore. And we say if self.hp is less than 0, then, whoops, why did I do that? Then self.hp equals 0. And this is like one of these things, like if you don't do this, you can end up having like really huge negative values. It's just like a thing to do to make sure you don't get weird negative values that mess up stuff. Um, and then we can say table dot remove all resources self end. Now, to explain this, the way I'm structuring things here, we have these tables. I have, excuse me, all units, all enemies, all resources, all buildings. And there will be more of those later. There will be like all heroes and all kinds of stuff. But so I have something in my throat. I need to clear it out. Hold on. Okay. So what I use these for, I mean, for a number of things, but like as an example, this allows me to do something like this is basically saying all units should run this function. All resources should run this function. And I can put any function in there and all of them will do it. It lets me check all of them or whatever. And effectively when I remove something from one of these tables, no code runs for it at all. And it effectively isn't there anymore. Like it doesn't draw, it doesn't track its location. It's for all intents and purposes, it's not there. So so we remove it, and let me think about that. Is that going to work? I'm trying to think. It might not actually. This might not actually get rid of it in the way I want it to because, uh, well, hmm, does it get rid of it? Yeah, I think it does. It will because the Dwarfman won't even see it. Like if you look here, this function get closest building or get closest resource. What it does is it checks. Um, wait, what? How did I do this? How is it getting it? Where's the table? Am I going insane here? Seriously, where is the table? Oh, this is mine. I'm an idiot. Okay, I was like going insane. Like this isn't doing that. Okay. Um, so here it goes through all resources and it's looking which one is closest. But if you remove it from that table, it's no longer even going to check. So that should be fine. Okay. So we'll remove the resource. Um, yeah, let's just make, I think that's it. Let's just see. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. Because I've created a cleanup function, but I've not actually run it. And what we're going to do here is function or update and self dot cleanup. Well, and so basically the idea here is like I don't want to have to manually type these all into the main loop. I just want to have an update which runs all of the whatever we add in later. Um, and so here where we were talking about earlier with the or uh, wherever that was here. For all resources, we do resource.draw, and we're also going to do resource.update. Oh, no, that's not right. We do not run the update function in the draw function. We run it in the update. So here we need to add in a new loop for resource and I pairs all do self.update. And we add delta, just forget about the DT thing, but it's just like this, like whatever. It's not relevant right now, but I'm doing it because I don't want to forget it later. Okay, main 44. That probably means I did a dot instead of a colon somewhere. Oh, it's not self, it's resource. Okay. I've referenced the table that doesn't exist somewhere. Main 44, resource.update. Did I save all? For resource and iPairs, all resources do resource update. Okay. Then or update. What am I missing? A loop and get table. Main 44. I probably typoed something somewhere. Resource. I was like, I spent like 20 minutes earlier today. I had resource and I couldn't, my eyes just didn't parse that. Yeah, I don't, loop in get table oftentimes means that there's like you're trying to get something that's not, you're trying to call something that's not there or something. But I'm really struggling to see what's happening here. Just for checking it, I'm going to try running cleanup directly and see what happens. And it's not making any difference here. Um, really quite confused here. For resource and iPairs all resources, we have all resources still. Okay, I'm going to comment this out really quick. That's not commenting out. Dude, what is the, yeah, okay. So that's definitely what's causing the issue. But I'm kind of at a loss for how this is messing anything up. I'm going to remove, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I'm going to remove delta time. Self.cleanup, cleanup. Oh, wait. No. Mm. Okay, let me try something. So I'm trying to figure out like the nature of this error. Is it because I typoed something right here, or is it inside the function? Mm, what could it be? I'm so lost. Okay. Or could it be that no, because I'm calling update directly now, so it couldn't even be that. Oh, but I print yeah. Okay, yeah, I think it's something I'm just doing something wrong in this main loop, and I really just can't tell what it is because like it's like exactly the same as that. And a copy paste in case my eyes are just blind to a typo. No. All right. Um, huh, I'm confused even more now. This isn't print. This isn't happening. Yeah, let's have to. Huh? Wait, but why would you do make a YouTube video? I don't know, just because I wanted to. I was doing pixel art and scratch. Oh, really? Cool. I made like, cool. And I made it the code said the print text bubble, and it just played, and it played recording, but it was just mm-hmm. He was talking to me. Yeah, okay. What was that? It's so that because I didn't pause the video. I don't want to stop the video. What's up? Wait, so you have a chat? No, dude, I don't. So, do you want me to come look at your night? Yeah. Yeah, let me see. All right, sorry about that. Um, yeah, I'm really kind of confused why this is happening. Dot x dot y. Yeah, we got that. My because like the text should say hi on top of where the resources are, but it's just not doing it. Oh, because because this is in the update loop and not the draw loop, so it can't. Um, okay, let's let me try this. So now all the resources should slide to the right or something. And they do. Okay. So this is all working and resource update. I'm really just not understanding what's going on here. Why it's throwing an error at all. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to check. I found it's very good at catching bugs like this. That's actually how I found that typo earlier because it's just like, oh yeah, you typoed this idiot, and then you're like, oh cool. Okay, so I'm gonna send it this, and then my just entire update function and tell it that I'm getting an error in loop table. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can't self here. You have to do. Wait, no. Oh, you have to like loop through the entire. Yeah. Okay. I am just gonna copy paste this. Like, but yeah. So like, I'll explain what's happening though. You can't. It just. It's better. Oh, they changed my less than equal to whatever. Okay. Um. So basically, you have to create a loop and then this I is referring to the index number of the in the table. The self object doesn't have like it doesn't know its own index in the table, so you have to do it this way. Okay. Or not. Let me see. What, what the fuck, man? All resources, resource update. Did really does a lot is that all it thinks? Other than that, your code looks fine. Yeah, my ass it does. Um Did I not? Let me check something. My other cleanup function for blob. Oh no, I put it into enemy. Do I not have a cleanup function? What? Check. I called it check if dead. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, we have the loop index thing here and break. Did I add a break? It shouldn't. Yeah, we did. Okay. Um, all right. Did I call? I'm calling update. Let's call cleanup directly and see what happens. I can't imagine it'll make a difference. No. Yeah, this is like insanely annoying because it's not. I'm going to show it the main. I'm going to show ChatGPT the main loop here. I don't think it's in my main loop because when we slid everything to the right, it didn't throw an error. It's specifically when I call either the cleanup function or the Oh, I'm so stupid. Look, look, that's what it is. I declared an update function that doesn't do anything and forgot about it. All right. I knew it was something stupid. Like, what? No, that had to be it. Come on. Fuck. Oh, shit. How is it not that? I don't understand how it's not that. Okay. All right. We're gonna ask ChatGPT again. But I still get the error. Suspicious. I don't think I spelled that right still. Okay. Um, so here's main.lua. Just dump everything at ChatGPT. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. It on one hand it makes a lot of sense, but on the other hand, I don't think this is actually the problem. Um, because I didn't do that. I didn't do that other like in any of my other functions and they worked okay, but let's try. Let's give it a shot at least. How did it want? Where did it want me to do this? When I call update. Okay. This seems so janky to me. I mean, if it fixes it, I'm going to go with it, but I don't think it will fix it. Yeah, I don't think that was it. Like, seriously, there is some really stupid error. Thank you for that suggestion. One thing with ChatGPT is if it can't actually find the error. Okay, I hate it when it gives me fucking checklists. You know what we're gonna hear? Watch this. Oh one. Gotta hit it with the heavy guns here. Um, paste everything again. Loop and what's the error called again? Loop in get table. So O1 is a lot better at doing this kind of task than 4 or whatever the previous iteration was. Um, and I think if it can't find it here, I'm gonna look again myself because you know, no, it keeps trying to tell me that this is a problem and it's not. At least I really don't. My understanding of set meta table is that this is fine. Like as an example, I have I think I have it for enemy. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're not supposed to do that. Well, anyway, my understanding of this was like that you are supposed to do that, but I think that maybe is right. Maybe that was actually the issue. No, see, it's just one of these things like, and is that all it suggested? Or dot indexes or set metatable or, which is what I did. I do have return or at the end. All resources is a global variable. It's declared here in my love.load. Um, however, and they want me to do the backward iteration again, which I did order index, didn't I? Yeah. Double all resources properly initialized. Um, where are we requiring? Did I not require or? Holy shit! Oh, that's what it was. Huh? This is like the dumbest error ever. Okay. No, did how in the fuck? How is that even oh, because I required or in resource spawner. Um, interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, something might be going on here. Local, so we have it local here, which is fine. I mean, this definitely was an issue. I'm just shocked that it's not fixing it. Although, how is it drawing then? It was drawing fine. Resource.draw. Um, I didn't require tree either. Maybe that shouldn't have mattered, but it was worth checking. Uh, oh, is this if resource equals self? Let's look at how I did the enemy one just to make sure. In fact, let's copy and paste the enemy one because it's working. And I'm kind of like getting sick of this issue. It's like this happened, like this is what coding is a lot of the time, is just being stuck on something where when you eventually figure out what it was, you're just like, oh, that was really stupid of me. No, let's call this for or in all resources do if resource or if or equals self, remove all resources. What is this? Oh, that's just another table to remove from. Okay, we don't need that. I don't think this will work either, obviously, but yeah, man, this is like not fun to watch, I'm sure. Hmm. I'm gonna add a loop into the draw for this, and we'll try this like oh yeah, I mean that's always gonna fuck it up if I have that in there. Okay, well there's the hello. So I mean, like the reason I did this, I'm just seeing is like, can I iterate over this? I guess I knew I could because of that, huh? Um, okay, I'm gonna ask O1 again and tell it that didn't fix it. Okay. Let's see if they can, if ChatGPT can. It's, I'm like, probably going to edit this. I didn't really want to edit the video, but I don't want to have a video where I'm just stuck ChatGPTing for 45 minutes. Um, like this this was supposed to be like a thing. It would take me like 2 minutes to make the and just be okay, cool, that's working. Let's go. Let's do the next thing. And instead, we're just no, they've identified the root cause. It contains more than one or than just or, such as tree. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. So basically, I think I'm not even going to look at what ChatGPT said either. I'm just going to copy this, all of this actually, and put it into tree. Now, actually, what I should do at this point is set up inheritance and create a resource module and put these functions into resource, and then this wouldn't happen anyway. But I've spent enough time on this right now. I will do that later, especially before I add the third resource, which is magic orbs. But I just want to do this really quick and make sure it works because I like it clicks. Like I understand the issue. I know why it's not working because it's iterating over all the resources, and when it gets to a tree, the tree doesn't have a cleanup or an update function, which is why we have to add that in. And I'm going to call this resource now because this is eventually going to get moved to the resource module, which will inherit, which tree and ore will inherit from. Okay. I think this will do it. Yeah. And to put into perspective, like let's say that the code had run, what would have happened when I mined out the tree? Because it's checking, you get it, like it's going to throw an error. Okay. So what we want to see is after I get to 50 ore, this thing should disappear. Yeah, nice. Okay. Let's try it on the tree. The tree does not disappear. Why not? Not only does it not disappear, but I can apparently mine it forever because my logs keep going up. I wonder if I didn't set the HP of the tree. I didn't. Okay. Tree dot HP equals 50. All right, cool. I'm pretty happy about that. Like I always feel kind of bad when I use ChatGPT. Um Now I can't. Oh, okay, yeah. Because like you can become very dependent on it if you're not if you get lazy with it. Okay, this is still an infinite tree that mines forever, even though I added the HP. Let's see why. Tree.hp is 50. Oh, we had it. We had the HP here too. What? What's going on? Okay. Um, okay, let's debug it. We'll do resource.draw, and then we'll also do um, love.graphics.print self.hp self.x self.y plus 20 plus 20. I have to do y plus 20 to make it above the or minus 20, right? Yeah, minus 20. And it's not self, it's resource. Okay, we can see the HP of every, that's how much, the HP is effectively how much resources are left on that resource. We can see the HP is going down. Okay, but when it gets to zero, it just doesn't go away. Double check that the ore is still disappearing. Yeah, the ore does not keep going up. There's nothing there to mine. Okay. So there is something we have in ore that we don't have in tree is the oh wait, no. Tree.cleanup, tree.update. If resource icons all resources oh if resource equals self. That's what it was. Okay, cool. Works. All right. Um so what do I want to do now? There's a few things I could work on now. This video has been how long? An hour and 13. Yeah, I'm fine with like a two a 2 hour video, honestly. So I could do the ingot, the forge thing, making ingots. I could add that in. The thing is, I don't really need the ingots yet. Like for um, let me make a new text file to give you some like. Okay, so forge converts 10 ore into 1 ingot. Sawmill converts 10 logs into 1 plank. But other buildings that can be made in the early game are we can make an inn, recruits heroes using gold. In order to get gold, we have a trading post, converts any resource into gold. So I mean, like making the trading post would be pretty easy. We could make the stockpile where you just dump stuff. All of that is kind of necessary. The thing is, none of that is particularly needed for like getting the Dwarfman to actually influence what's happening on the field. So I think the thing I'd like to make, and it's kind of like the harder thing to make at this point, would be the potion lab. But I also want the potion lab. You know what I should work on, and it's going to be a bit harder to do is the building function. Like right now, I'm just hard coding it so that we spawn the a forge is just there when the game starts. But I actually want that to be built. Um, so we actually need to make a function in here for the Dwarfman that's like uh well the the first question is actually how does building work in the first place? How do you build? Like what is the input for it? Um so we're controlling the Dwarfman with WASD and we also are using the mouse. Maybe just pressing the B key will open a building menu. And then once the building menu is open, I guess you use the mouse or a hotkey to select what you want to build. So let's call this function just build. And actually, let's call it toggle build menu. Now, immediately, I'm just going to go in here to the controls and add that into. So toggle build menu. I'm going to add a Boolean here, Dwarfman dot build menu equals false. That should be capital. Okay. So toggle, what do they call it? Toggle build menu. Yeah. Now, let me think of the best way to do this. Part of me is thinking it likely would make sense to create an entire new module called like menus and but I don't think I'm not going to do that right now. It's one of those things like if it turns out that that makes more sense, I will do it, but I won't know for sure until I try it this way probably. Um, okay, so toggle build menu, and the reason I'm thinking about doing that is because the menu is going to be, I mean, eventually what it's going to be is like an image file. Well, it's going to be like a yeah, probably like a rectangle with some kind of I don't know. I could probably build the menu simply out of like rectangles and colors on this rather than drawing it. But it's probably going to be like a pixel art menu anyway. Um, and then there's going to be things inside of it. But I can do this all from rectangles and text right now, and but it's going to be a kind of complicated object, and I don't think it makes sense to create that object within this toggle function. It's just not the right place for it. Um, Now I'm wondering, do I want it to be like Dwarfman dot buildman? Well, I already have that as a boolean. But I could make it kind of like I'm doing his inventory menu is visible. I'm going to do that, and then I'll do it. I'll just do it like this: Dwarfman dot build menu um, is going to be a so really simple at first. We're going to draw a rectangle and we're going to have rectangles with text inside of them. and you'll be able to use the mouse wheel to just cycle through. And when you cycle, they'll change colors to tell you what you've selected. Um, Now, I'm trying to think what does this object actually need to be in that case? No, you know what I think it should, maybe we don't need this yet. Maybe what it should just be is like we have another function here. Function dwarf draw build menu. So the toggle is like, this is like logic. This is drawing. So this will set the Boolean, like, is it visible? Yes or no. This is actually just love.graphics.rectangle, right? So we're gonna make it a fill, I think. I want it fill. And it's going to be it's going to be at self.x, self.y, and then it needs to be offset by like a lot, I think. If we want it above or below, we'll make it above him, I guess. Or should it be anchored to like the top of the screen or something? I'm just going to have it over his head for now, I think. Um, so actually, let's do local um, height equals, let's try 200. I'll just see how that looks. Okay. So that's going to make a big rectangle over his head. But then I want the Y to be minus, let's try minus height there. Um, we'll do that one later. And let's just see if this works before I do anything. Self dot, what did I call that, Boolean? Self dot build menu is visible equals true. And then I'll put the logic for this into the draw function. Um, we'll say if self dot build menu is visible, then self dot draw build menu. And then what happened when you press B? Self dot toggle build menu. No, that's wrong. It's this is if self dot build menu is visible equals false, then else if okay. Yeah, okay. Except it doesn't toggle, it only ever turns on for some reason. Okay. If self.build menu is visible equals true, then self.build menu is visible. Oh, is visible. Visible. Okay. Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a few obviously immediate issue with it being over his head is that it can go off the screen. That's not going to work. Even if I put it below, then it could go off the screen on the bottom. So I think we just need to anchor that to a position rather than having it move with Dwarfman. So we will put this at a static location. Let's do bottom right, I guess. So we'll do the X location would be width. That's a global variable I have for the resolution, so I can use that. Width minus local. That's confusing, isn't it? But it makes sense to me. Width minus width, height plus height. No value. Argument number 4. 1, 2, 3. What? I'm stupid. And then I have to do this with height. That's very confusing looking, isn't it? It doesn't work. Maybe this isn't the this. Okay, hold on. This local global thing. Okay. So this is the X value, width minus width, which would be 1920 minus 200. That seems correct to me. Height plus height. This is probably where I went wrong. Height is up here. No. Yeah, that's not right. 0. No, not 0. No, it is height. Height minus height. Yeah, okay. There's the build menu way down there. Why did it? It's really weird. It's like it's sometimes doing it, but not always. The fuck? Yeah, it's like it just sporadically works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hmm. I think it's probably like, let me check something. I mean, I don't know why I thought that log would help me. Obviously, if it's true, it's showing up. If it's false, it's not. Um, that's so weird. But my suspicion is that there's like a thing where like if you push it, it's flipping back and forth a million times because uh there's no cooldown to get out of there. Actually, let's do it this way. Um, B only ever turns the build menu on. It doesn't toggle. So I don't know. I don't if I want to rename that function. I don't really want to right now, but yeah. Also self-head is true. It is. Um, but yeah, I'll do a toggle and then I'm just gonna add function exit menus and just say like sorry. And we'll make that like escape. I might have to look up what escape is. If love.keyboard.is_town. I'm gonna see if it's escape. So now like B will turn it on, escape turns it off. Okay, there we go. Now it's how I want it. That build menu needs to be twice as wide. It just doesn't look right. So we had a local width there, make it like 400. Something feels off there. I mean, this is like placeholder anyway. In reality, like it's whatever. Um, I hate that white color. It doesn't look right. So love.graphics.set color. Um, make it just gray maybe. Okay. This needs to be the last thing that happens basically. Um, you know, clearly what's clearly the menu needs to be its own module because we need to draw um, this is inside of the Dwarfman draw function right now, and the last thing that you draw goes on top. So like here we have the resources drawing over the units. Um, I will just and the other thing is like we need the menu needs to always be on top, basically, is the thing. So I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to make a whole new object, and it's just going to be a lot of kind of busy work. So I think I'll just leave it for now. It doesn't it's or well, at least what I could do is just draw the units on top for as a but you can see like the knight just walked over it. It's fine. I'll leave it like this for now. Okay. Um Now what was it? Draw build menu. So we need more rectangles now. Okay. This is this is one of these things where like grids, my brain doesn't work very good on these, where you want to do like a loop to set up a bunch of grids. Um, where I would do like, let me try to do it. Usually I just chat GPT these grids because it's just like it's chat GPT is so good at that kind of thing. But we'll say for one, how many how many grids do we want? How big is each one? We got 200 by 400. So if we make 10 pixels is too small. They probably need to be like 20 by 20 maybe. So we could fit like for the moment I like I kind of want to fill it. Like okay, like if we do 20 by 20, we could be 10. We wouldn't want 10 on there though, right? Let me look at the grid again. That's like it would look crazy to have yeah, that's too small. Like the icons should probably be like this big. Maybe even bigger. Like I think 3 high would be what I would, and then and that will determine the width as well. Okay. So if we have it 3 high, it's we're gonna have some padding as well. So it's like 200 divided by 3, and we could just say 60 high, 60 high, 60 wide. for each building icon. So let's just do local, like local icon width is 60. All right. So we say 4, 0. Oh, and then I wanted to, I'm really bad at math, just if you couldn't tell by me opening the calculator all the time. 400 divided by 60, how many can we fit? Why is the calculator not opening? Bro. Seriously, what the fuck? Okay, get out. Open it again. There we go. 400 divided by 60 is 6.6. Let's just do 6. Okay. So we'll have 6 icons wide, 3 high. That's 18. That's definitely enough. Okay. And this is all placeholder anyway, so I don't really care that much. All right. 4, 0. No, it's 4, 1. 18. I can't remember how to do the Lua for loops, man. Hold on. I had one somewhere in here. I remember how to do like these, but when you're actually just doing like a raw loop, I like can't remember how to do it. Oh, for I equals, yeah, okay. Where was I? For I equals 118. Okay, yeah. Oops. Do. What do we want it to do? We want it to do love.graphics.rectangle line, and then the position. Okay. So the position is going to be the width of the big rectangle is width minus width. So it's going to be width minus width plus padding. Let's try 5. Okay. Line. Width minus width plus padding is going to be the x. The y is going to be height minus height plus or minus padding. I think plus padding. And then we're going to have it be icon width, icon height. And that will draw the first rectangle in that way, but we need we need the eye to do something here. So if I is 1, let me think. This is so confusing. I'm so bad at these. So the I needs to be what value? Like we need to multiply by I on, and it's not 18, it's not 18 either. I'm like, this needs to be a nested loop. So the first loop is going to be the first loop is going to be, what did we say, 6 wide. So it's going to be like this. Let's just try to do it without nested first and see if we can get it to work. So the first row width minus width plus padding is fine. Like this is fine if I'm just drawing the first square, which is not what I'm doing. But anyway, I think it's just times I, and then this is also times I, and let's just see what happens when I do that. Okay. Um, not even close. Well, the padding, the first square is right. Okay. What went wrong here? We definitely fucked with the I when we didn't need to. This doesn't need to be times anything. Let's see what happens now. Okay, closer, but still totally wrong. Um, oh, because I'm multiplying the padding by I, which is totally incorrect. It should be width minus width times I. Well, now we've got it going across the entire screen for some reason. Okay. All right, let's think of this. Let's reassess. What if I just don't do anything with I? It just draws it all in one spot, I'm sure, right? Yeah, okay. It's all just drawing over and over. So when you say, what is it we literally we want to go the next loop, we want it plus by the width, actually, by the icon width. So what would we say? We'd say plus padding. I don't know why I can't figure this out. um, you know what's crazy too is if I give this to ChatGPT, done. Let's just do it. Watch this. I don't even need to use O1 here. Like it could have, it would be faster just okay. Yeah, I know it's not changing, but okay, just give me it, you know. For I equals 0, okay, so they didn't even need to use a nested loop. This is so elegant. Like they're using like it's just so elegant. I just just copy paste it and watch it work miraculously here. Watch this. Yeah, perfect. Like I could have probably spent 20 minutes figuring that out and it would have been less elegant, but we just got a perfect thing there. Okay, cool. Okay. Um the only thing that's not perfect is the side like the math doesn't quite line up and we have a little bit of chin or bevel or whatever on the what's that word? Bezel? I can't the thing I forgot what that word is. I'm just like totally blanking. But it's a little bit fat on the right side. Okay. So now and here, you know, here's the slippery slope of ChatGPT too. Like if I now all I really need to do is put text over these and because I don't really even understand how it did this, um my instinct is to just manually figure out the coordinates of each thing and do them. But obviously like that would be stupid when you could you know you could work like you know you could create a table with the names of all the buildings and then just have it like do it within the loop and it would be super elegant. And the best way to do that is to say, "Hey, ChatGPT, um, like let's do it." And I think the video this will be the last thing I do, but this is one of these things like I um I would become better at coding if I tried to do this kind of stuff on my own. But you saw like I'm also trying to do all the art for this game. There's a lot of stuff I'm trying to do, and this is just not the kind of thing I want to sit here and manually do when I know I have a tool which can just pop it out for me. So like let me give you an example. Okay, cool, that worked. Now I want to label the first few of these squares text using um, and the other thing with ChatGPT is if you give it suggestions like this, it really helps it to just like do the way you want it to. Instead of just being like, like being more specific actually makes it do better code a lot of the time. Like even telling it using love dot graphic, just like that kind of thing. Um, and so I also want like the names of some buildings I want you to put in forge, sawmill, potion, stockpile, in uh, smithy. I will also want to have it later that you can use the mouse wheel to select buildings on the menu. Don't add that in yet. Let's keep it in. Setting this up. Okay. Now just like let's see how good it is at doing this. Um, when you learn to code, like making grids is actually like one of the first things you have to learn, and I was always so bad at it. I'm getting better at like, it's one of those things like I guess like in the old times you just like had to suck it up and get good at that shit. Otherwise you couldn't make a grid, but like now it's just like, man, I can sit there and toil on the grid, or I can just get the smart robot to do it for me. All right. Um, build menu items is going to go. Yeah. And like, this is something that this really is pointing toward having a separate module and class for the buildings and stuff, or for the menus. Cause like, because I can make it global and stuff. Yeah. Like, they want me to put this inside the Dwarfman class. I guess, yeah, we can just throw it like, we don't put it in the constructor. We just do it like this, and it's like whatever, it's fine. Um, and look at all this like coding in there. Just copy paste it, draw a build menu. It said something else. Let me check it real quick. Did it? Oh, for font size. Yeah. I've never messed with fonts in Lua or in Love 2D. And now they've even guided me to selection appropriation. Okay. They even got the cost. Yeah, I mean, like, okay. Let's just see if this worked. No? What? Yeah. Except they also, yeah. This is like an unintended thing where it's, oh, maybe they made it dynamic so that it gets bigger based on uh, the number of like buildings. I don't know if that's what it did or not. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's calculating this the size based on the number of icons. Uh, how is it getting total icons? Build menu items. Okay, let me test it. Let's just try it. Like if I add another thing, what happens? Idiot box. Castle. I just putting in the first word that pops into my head. But yeah. Yeah, that's sick. I mean, you see that like that would have taken me fucking forever to do that. It really would have. Okay. And now I just have this really easy thing to maintain that I just add buildings in and it goes into the menu and I don't have to think about it and I can work on other stuff. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a good stopping point for now. Just a quick recap. I got the bugs fixed with the harvesting where we can swing we can swing anytime we're on the map. It doesn't have to be near anything. We got the trees and the ore able to die when you mine it out like that. Got the ore that you can dump into the forge and it dumps each swing rather than all at once. And that was all done without ChatGPT, thankfully. That's the kind of stuff I'm better at is like these kind of like less heavy loop stuff. And then we got the build menu, which ChatGPT basically did. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see more of these or any suggestions. Thanks for watching. Bye.